Please take your seats for Grierson 2021, the British Documentary Awards in association with All3 Media.
Tonight, we've got a rather different programme for you.
No matter how bad the situation is, we'll always get through it.
Please welcome the chair of the Grierson Trust, Lorraine Hegarty.
Something tells me there's going to be quite a party after this. I don't think we've ever had such a response to the opening montage. I can't believe we're all here. It's amazing. It is a complete joy to welcome you all to the 49th British Documentary Awards and to bring the documentary and factual TV community together in real life after so long apart. Whether you're tuning into our live stream or whether you're here in the room, I'm just so glad that you can join us to celebrate and marvel at the incredible stories and filmmakers showcased tonight. We have got a brilliant evening ahead, jammed with highlights from the best of the past year's documentary crop. And we've added 2 fantastic new categories for Best Music and Best Sports documentaries. To sit alongside our prestigious Grierson Trustees Award, we've also introduced the Hero of the Year Award to celebrate the invaluable contribution made by those who work tirelessly behind the scenes and who all too often don't get recognised at award ceremonies. We were bowled over by the quality of entries into all the categories, and I just can't wait to share the results with you. I'd like to thank our category chairs, our reviewers and judges for their time dedication, and often spirited consideration of the entries. And of course, we wouldn't be here without the support of our sponsors, especially our headline sponsor, All3 Media. Thank you so much. We are so grateful to all of you for your loyal support, despite the challenges that your businesses have faced recently. And if all our sponsors could please stand up, I would like to give them a round of applause. You really deserve it. You really deserve it. Because without you, this ceremony simply wouldn't be happening. It's a tribute to the talent in our sector that so many wonderful programs have been produced, despite the constraints and challenges of filming during the pandemic. This has undoubtedly added to the stresses and strains placed on everyone involved, and it's important that we continue to support one another as we navigate this new landscape. So for the second year in a row, we are really proud to support the Film and TV charity, who do such valuable work helping freelancers with financial and practical resources, with advice and support for mental health and well-being. If you can, please do donate. There's a QR code that you can scan on page 4 of the programme. And if you're struggling, don't hesitate to contact the charity. That's what they're there for. In addition to celebrating excellence across all genres of documentary, the Grierson Trust offers training through the DocLab scheme to those who might otherwise struggle to find a way into our industry. This year, thanks to generous support from Netflix, we've expanded DocLab to 2 new areas where there's a real shortage of skills, and have run our first courses for editors and production managers. This means we have a record 32 trainees working with us now, and many of our current and 2020 cohort are here tonight, along with some earlier graduates, some of whom are actually nominees. So if you're a current or past trainee, please stand up and give us a wave. Be nice to all the trainees. When you've been around as long as I have, you know it's people like them that are going to be giving you your jobs before too long. They've all got silver DocLab badges on, so you can easily spot them at the after party and take the opportunity to sign them up before anybody else does. I'd like to thank all our DocLab sponsors and partners and all those independent production companies who provide opportunity for the trainees. We couldn't do this valuable work without you. And on behalf of my fellow trustees, I'd like to thank the small but perfectly formed team of staff and freelancers at the Grierson Trust who make everything we do run seamlessly and give such dedication and enthusiasm to our work. They make my job easy, and it's a privilege and pleasure to support them. And I don't know where Jane is, but I have to embarrass her every time and make her stand up, and we should applaud Jane Callahan. She's absolutely amazing. I don't know how she manages to get done everything that she does. And of course, I have to also thank all the trustees, my fellow trustees, for sharing their wisdom and giving their time so generously. Another new thing this year is that we're joined by a team of British Sign Language interpreters, and the film packages have all been subtitled as we continue to strive to make our work as inclusive as possible. So now, without further ado, let's get the 2021 British Documentary Awards underway. Please join me to welcome on stage our host for this evening, the very brilliant and irrepressible Patrick Kielty.
Thank you very much. Good evening, good evening. Thank you for that amazing welcome. You've no idea how lovely it feels to actually be standing just out the back. You're thinking to yourself, here we go. It's the first time we're going to see each other for 2 years. We're all very excited. Lorraine says, Paddy, they're going to be up for it. It's going to be really special. And have the round of applause finish before you get the 20 feet from... Yeah, oh, thanks, yeah. No, it's too late now. Oh, no! Yeah. I mean, come on, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gets more of a round of applause coming up with Tunnel these days. But look, I know it's okay. I know what's happening here. You're doing that. Don't clap too loud at the start, because if we don't win, we have to be able to distance ourselves from this entire charade. I know what's going on. And, you know, we might have to pretend to be better than this tonight. I think that's the vibe there. And some of you might well be better than this tonight, but if you do win and you want the rest of us to humor you while you thank a dozen people that most of us in this room don't even know, I'm kind of thinking we should all go with it from the start. So I'll reintroduce myself and we can pretend we're actually ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Patrick Kielty. Oh, we're back! Yes! Thank you! We're all in! Even the people I know that are going to lose, thank you! Good evening, welcome to the 2021 Grierson Trust Awards. It's been 2 years since our first live ceremony. We are back. It's nice to be back, isn't it? Yeah. We have real people in a real room honoring real film. You'll be pleased. Yes. Yeah. You'll be pleased to know tonight nothing is virtual. We're actually going to have actual people come up and give actual people actual awards, okay? Yeah. Now, just in case you think I'm overselling this, I'm not. I just don't want any of you tonight who are sitting here to make the mistake that you're still sitting at home on Zoom. You are back out at a public event. None of us need another Joe Biden, Camilla moment here this evening. There we go. Nobody going for that apart from one person who really loves a fart gag. Thank you. And even though we're not on Zoom tonight, we are more than happy for you guys to shout out all the stuff that you've been saying in your living rooms on Zoom for the last year and a half. So at any time, feel free to mute me, shout out, "What a wanker," and walk into the kitchen to get a glass of wine. I am so sorry, I have just realized I have made you sign wanker. I'm looking what's next and I'm apologizing in advance. As we go through the nominees, we'd still love you to shout out, how the hell did those arseholes get nominated? And also, when you don't win during someone else's acceptance speech, feel free to just go for it, kick the chair in front of you and say, well, they only won because they used to work with 2 people on the jury. Which is, of course, that is nonsense. That would never happen at the Grierson Trust Awards. We all know that you need to know at least 3 people on a jury to stand any chance. So look, I'm going to be taking you through this. I'm your host. It is officially the most dangerous awards gig on the calendar because anyone who watches ITV Daytime will know it's always hard to follow Lorraine and not get sacked. Let's hear for Lorraine Hegarty, by the way. Come on, let's hear for Lorraine. Yeah. Yeah. I was actually going to get Lorraine to give her speech after me, but then, as Piers Morgan knows, it's also very hard to host before Lorraine and not get sacked. Tonight, it says here, you're all winners. Though most of you tonight will leave here as nominees, which, as we know, is snowflake for losers. And because I'm not familiar with all of your individual films, I will be helping to deliver that bad news as insensitively as possible tonight. This is kind of just the opposite of Brexit. This is someone from Northern Ireland who knows nothing about what they're talking about, making English people unhappy. That's kind of what's going to happen. Ooh. Thank you. I didn't realize we had so many Northern Irish people in. There we go, drinking already, that's fantastic. What else do we have to tell you? Yes, now the pandemic is becoming more manageable. Most of our winners will actually be joining us in person tonight. What about that? Yeah? Yeah. The world is finally opening up. We can now all fly again to America, unless you're Prince Andrew. Some are jokes, some are facts. Yeah. I mean, it is a shame, but you know, at least we all finally get to find out if he really isn't able to sweat. Don't worry, we'll edit a laugh onto that. That's the laugh we'll use. By the way, folks, if you're lucky enough to win here tonight, can I just say, as a former winner, this will be the greatest night of your life. It really will. Now, you mightn't realize that now, but trust me, when you go to your next pitch meeting and every commissioning editor tells you that they want something exactly the same as your last idea, but different, that's when it'll sink in. Can you kind of do that thing again, but maybe not that thing again, but kind of that thing again? Terrified people refusing to laugh at that because they want another commission. Yes. Yeah, can we just do something kind of in that area, but not that area? Yeah, circle back, circle back. All our results tonight are, of course, final. Just like Parliament, there is no right to appeal. But if you do lose and keep your head down, you will get a seat in the House of Lords in a few years' time. So, good luck, God bless, and remember, folks, it is not the taking part, it is the winning that counts. Are we ready for the 2021 Grierson Trust Awards? Yes, we are, okay. Let's begin with Best Natural History or Environmental Documentary, sponsored by Discovery. Presenting the award on their behalf is wildlife filmmaker, explorer, and field biologist. Please show some love for Dan O'Neill. This is not going to work, okay? You can give me a shit welcome. Dan, go back in, come back out. I want a cheer. I want a cheer. Back in there. Here we go. Okay. First award, and you've lost interest already. It's all about me, me, me. A room full of people whose films are more important than the awards that honor their films. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dan O'Neill. There you go. Let's have a look at the nominations.
Climate Change, Addy on the Front Line sees Addy Adepitan witness up close the damage climate change is causing around the world as he seeks out people trying to mitigate its effects.
Can I grab another one?
Absolutely, please do. So we need to get them all out.
Oh, they're so soft. So soft. So how many eggs will she lay?
120 on average, but I think we got almost 150 from a turtle last night.
It's remarkable to think that the future of the turtles are in my hands here. These little babies.
Exploring the hidden world of an underwater kelp forest, my octopus teacher reveals fascinating octopus behaviors in astonishing detail.
She just kept coming and then covered my whole hand. And I'd been underwater for quite a long time. So I just gently pushed for the surface, thinking she would move off my hand. But she didn't. She just rode on my hand right to the surface.
Bringing together scientists from many different backgrounds, Extinction the Facts examines why biodiversity loss is happening and what can be done to stop it.
Unless science saves them,
When Najin passes away, she will leave the daughter, Fatu, alone forever. The last northern white rhino.
In David Attenborough, A Life on Our Planet, the broadcaster and naturalist reflects on his travels round the globe and asks how we can protect precious habitats.
When you first see it, you think perhaps that it's beautiful, and suddenly you realize it's tragic, because what you're looking at is skeletons of dead creatures. The white corals are ultimately smothered by seaweed, and the reef turns from wonderland to wasteland.
The jury felt that this was an incredibly moving and beautiful category to judge, as each film focused viewers' attention on the things that we're losing and damaging in such heartbreaking, stark, and powerful ways. The winning film in particular had a narrative that the judges felt captured incredible, not seen before, natural history. Structurally impeccable, it was astonishing and beautiful filmmaking, which at its heart told a wonderful story that struck an emotional chord. So, I'm delighted to announce that the Grierson for Discovery Best Natural History or Environmental Documentary goes to My Octopus Teacher. To accept the award on behalf of the filmmakers, please welcome executive producer Andrew Zicking.
Wow. This incredible year in the story of this film continues. Firstly, thank you so much on behalf of everyone who worked on this film. It seems strange for me to be here standing here on my own, representing such a huge collaboration that kind of managed to put this film together, and to be nominated here at the Griersons in an event and a festival that celebrates the art and the value and the craft of documentary filmmaking. It's a true honor, and so thank you on behalf of everyone who took part in the film. I'm a bit presumptuous, but I was asked to say a few words on behalf of some of the people that couldn't be here, so if you excuse me. Firstly, I'd like to thank the directors, Pippa Ehrlich and James Reed, who sadly couldn't be here this evening. But of course, primarily the amazing and inspirational Craig Foster, whose unique life-changing story it was that the whole world fell in love with. And from our CEO at Off the Fence and executive producer Ellen Windermouth, who was the driving force behind the film, asked me to say just a few words. It was a very special time to be part of this unique and collaborative project, a film that brought so many people around the world together, spiritually, emotionally, and ecologically in such a crazy year, to put it mildly. The many awards it has won has now helped us to highlight the plight of South Africa's kelp forest and its unique creatures, and to ensure its better protection. And mental health, too, was an issue that we wanted to tackle in this film. And My Octopus Teacher has proven to be a direct and effective means of that communication. Thank you to the Sea Change Project and all my colleagues at Off the Fence, and of course to Netflix for helping this film find its true potential on a global scale. And thank you for doing this category first, so I could do this before I'd had too much to drink. Thank you very much. Thank you. No jokes about that.
And there you go, folks. That's what being a television executive is all about. Not there for the filming, but even with a hand and a bandage, able to come up and pick up the statue tonight. There you go. Yeah. That's our first award. If anybody would like to come up and actually better that for length tonight, we would really appreciate. Just come up, say thanks, have a little cry, pop your clogs. There you go, okay? Our next award is for Best Science Documentary to announce this year's recipient. Would you please welcome on stage a psychotherapist, a writer and presenter, Philippa Perry. There you go. Proper Love. Let's have a look at the nominations.
Can you sit in?
I'm not sitting in.
Oh, my God, Anna.
Nope.
Right. OK. Sorry, I know you don't want to do this, but I think it's important.
A filmmaker and his family investigate his rare neurological disease in Locked In, Breaking the Silence.
What are those scientists trying to find out?
They're trying to find out exactly which antibodies are going wrong in people. What they do is they take the blood and they spin it really fast in this machine. And the blood gets separated into all its different layers. And that's where the antibodies live.
When his sister dies unexpectedly, Patrick wants answers. Sudden Death, My Sister's Silent Killer, follows the 17-year-old as he researches sudden cardiac death and meets others who have lost loved ones.
If there was people, say, in the pub right now, I'm sort of looking at them and thinking, they're having, like, conversations, they're fine, they're having normal life, and I'm not part of this, like, normal world anymore.
For me, it was kind of like you'd be sat at home and you'd almost expect the door to open, them to come back through the door. And I remember there was a few times where I'd be like, something had happened, I'd be like, oh, I can't wait to tell Lauren that. And then you kind of, oh, I can't. And that was quite difficult.
The Surgeon's Cut documents the work of groundbreaking specialist surgeons as they treat the most extreme complications with cutting-edge procedures.
That is the laser fiber coming there. Can you see that?
Yes.
And we use this to burn the blood vessels that connect the two babies, sealing the blood vessels so that blood does not transfer from the one baby to the other.
The story of how the world redefined the kilogram, the last artifact, follows the scientists racing towards a monumental moment for the scientific study of measurement.
Metrology is really very, very important for industrial and the society.
If there were no metrologists, we would have no measurement system.
And we do crazy stuff. We measure glossiness of cats. We measure the acoustical crunches of biscuits.
We measure the fastest speed. And we measure the smallest distance.
The final 4 films were all exceptional. The judges would like to single out The Surgeon's Cut as highly commended. The sense of jeopardy was present from the outset. It really humanised an otherwise clinical and removed process at the centre of the story. Congratulations to the whole production team. The winner was a marriage of poetry and science, which created an exposing, challenging, brave, and moving film. The film's complex central themes took the viewers deep into the science. The sound design and the editing were incredibly powerful, resulting in a truly elegant film. The Grierson Award for the Open University Best Science Documentary goes to Locked In, Breaking the Silence. Please welcome on stage the film's subject and director, Xavier Alford, and his producer, Grierson DocLab graduate Poppy Goodhart, along with the production team.
God, thank you very much for this award. I'm slightly in shock, and I've got a very dry mouth. And Patrick's beer is here, so I might do. I wanted to just talk about my father. I know a lot of us have lost loved ones this year, and sadly, my dad, who was in the film, died in January, shortly after the film was broadcast. He would be so happy that I'm here picking up an award for a science documentary. He was a scientist himself, and I've always had the greatest respect and love for science, although it's not a path I took myself. But he would be incredibly happy and chuffed, and he would hate me to cry right now, so I won't. I kind of feel like it. I'm just so grateful to be here and to get this award, and thank you from all of the team, this amazing group of people who I've had the chance to work with, and all the people that backed me and believed in me in making this film. It means such a great deal. So I'd like to dedicate this to my dad. Thank you.
Next up, our first new category, and one of the reasons why our room is kicking off this evening. It is Best Music Documentary. Yep. Supported by Sky Documentaries to present the award. There we go. Now we're cooking. Now we're sucking diesel. To present the award on their behalf, please welcome writer and broadcaster Marion Begg. Okay, let's have a little look at the nominations.
Little girls should be seen and not heard. Oh, bondage! Of you! 1, 2, 3, 4!
A daughter unpacks the extraordinary life and work of her punk icon mother. In Polystyrene, I Am a Cliché.
Images of the suffragettes chained to the railings of Buckingham Palace shot across my photographic memory. A faded dream of Bowie's suffragette city. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, ringing in my ears.
Defending Diggity charts life after prison for the 20-year-old drill artist as he and his lawyer Cecilia navigate how to make music, rigorously policed by a criminal behaviour order.
He was the first individual within a group in which he was given a CBO that directly affected his ability to put out music. So in a way, it then meant the police could then control and censor all of the music that he was putting out there.
Celebrating the life of notorious B.I.G., Biggie, I Got a Story to Tell combines behind-the-scenes footage of the rapper with in-depth interviews with his nearest and dearest.
One of my friends bought your album and they told me it is wrecking with profanity. Christopher, is it true? Ma, what are you doing listening to my music? You're not supposed to be listening to my music. It's for nobody over 35 years old. Uh-oh. I'll stay the hell away from his music. I said, you know what? He told me don't listen to it. I'm not gonna listen to it.
Billie Eilish, The World's a Little Blurry, depicts the rise of a teenage superstar and sheds light on her creative process.
For me, when we all fall asleep, where do we go?
That's cool, right?
Genius. This is what I want the album to be called. When we all fall asleep, where do we go? In the future, I'm gonna do stuff with wings, and I also wanna do something where I drink black liquid and then my eyes turn black and then I start bleeding black out of my eyes.
Good evening, everyone. The jury was delighted with the incredible variety of films in this new category. The access that all the filmmakers had to their central characters and contributors, and all the constant pushing of format was genuinely exciting. The precise and articulate contributors in the winning film revealed the motivations of its central subject and the inevitable outcome of the drugs and violence unfolded like a Shakespearean tragedy. The film used never-before-seen archive to tell a well-rounded story. The Grierson Award for the Sky documentary's Best Music Documentary goes to Biggie, I Got a Story to Tell. Accepting the award is executive producer Stanley Buchtal.
This makes, you know what I'm saying? You got that don't like me for whatever reason. You got that don't want to see me, bitch. You got that's mad because I'm always with they. Then you got that just don't like, you know, those PhDs. But you know, I pop a lot, but I back it up though. See, it's a difference. A lot of pop, and a lot of don't make it.
This is wonderful. I'm the only person here that came from London because the rest of the team is in Los Angeles and New York. I want to thank the Grierson Awards for honoring us. This is just really special, a big surprise. I also want to say that Valletta Wallace, Christopher's mother, trusted us with the rights, my partner and I, David Coe, a half a dozen years ago. And she said, just be good to my son. And we tried to do that. And her partner, who runs the estate, Wayne Barrow, they trusted us, and they gave us the rights, and we made an arrangement with Netflix and Emmett Malloy, who stayed the course for 5 years while we sort of struggled with all the different footage and all the different rights and all the different personalities and all the different movements. We made it. So thank you to all of those folks. Thank you to Netflix, to Lisa, to Adam, and to Cameron, and thank you to P. Diddy for being there with us. Thank you. Our next award is for Best Student Documentary, which is supported by our headline sponsor, All3 Media. Here to present, please welcome from this morning, Alison Hammond. Let's have a look at the nominations.
Populating a small Japanese village are the scarecrows. Made by elderly residents, these figures are a creative way to keep a rural village alive.
ちょっとびっくりする。まあ。夜道とかな、人歩いてない時にかかし見たらなんか。それをなんかパッとずーっと見よったらなんかほんまに瞬きとかしそうやんいきなり。
Tough Love is a portrait of Cass, a football coach and straight-talking mentor to young people in Tottenham.
So pattern up, as you lot like to say. Pattern up your game. Give me any of them dead looking at the floor passes. You're sitting on the bench with me every week. It's as simple as that. As soon as I see something I don't like, ref! You know what happens after that? You're off. Somebody else gets the opportunity. Can I trust you? Yes, coach. What? You're another liar. Ref! He's off as well.
Two sisters return to Korea and are forced to isolate together after years apart. You Girls Need to Grow Up depicts the boredom, conflict, and humour of daily life.
이렇게 우울한 버스데이는 처음이야. 서울에서 자취할 때 2년인가? 3년 동안 이렇게 샤이니 판넬을 이렇게 세워놓고 이민기랑 내 촛불을 불었잖아. 내가 혼자 케이크를 사서. 이렇게 친구 없었냐? 서울에 사는 친구는 없었지.
Immersing herself in the world of online sex work, Tease is one filmmaker's quest to understand how to make money producing online sex content.
When I started, I set myself certain boundaries. But if I want to be successful at this, something needs to change.
So it gives me great pleasure to tell you that the director of the winning film absolutely hurled themselves into a brand new world, which made for a compelling story, literally from the get-go. Now, the judges were so impressed by the bravery and vulnerability of the filmmaker, as well as the intelligently crafted narrative, clever use of graphics, and skillful editing. So, the Grierson Award for the All3 Media Best Student Documentary goes to Tease. Please welcome to the stage the director Jessica Brady from the National Film and Television School and members of the production team. Come and get it.
Wow. Nigel, I know you want to hold this. Come on.
No, you hold it.
No! Okay, so to make this film, I lived life as an online sex worker for 2 months during the first lockdown, and it was one of the most terrifying things I think I've ever done. And I just could not have done it without this incredible team right here. I couldn't have just taken that leap of faith without knowing that I had you guys, so thank you. And also to Henry Sims and Fabiana Tesoro, who couldn't make it. Yeah, it was just a privilege, like every step of the way. And thank you to the contributors who devoted so much time to this during a really difficult time in the world. You just made this film what it is. Thank you to NFTS, especially Joe Abel, Claire Ferguson, Peter Dale, and Sandra Eggleston. And lastly, I just want to thank my family because I know this wasn't an easy watch, especially for my grandparents, if you can imagine that. So, yeah, thank you.
Oh, I wouldn't worry. My mum had to watch me host the first series of Celebrity Love Island. Congratulations to Jessica and everyone at the National Film and TV School who are celebrating their 50th anniversary this year. And by the way, next year, the Grierson Awards are also 50. Yes. And so you will have a much older host to tie in with that theme. Next is Best Current Affairs Documentary. It is sponsored by Televisual Magazine. And so to announce this year's recipient, please welcome the MD of Televisual, James Bennett, and documentary presenter and investigative journalist, Ellie Flynn. Here's the runners and riders.
Undercover in the schools that chain boys exposes systemic child abuse inside Islamic schools in Sudan.
In many of them, I saw children shackled and chained.
Investigating the biggest treatment disaster in NHS history, In Cold Blood brings to light the devastating effects of a treatment for haemophilia that infected thousands of people in the 1970s.
On my birth sheet where it says like how much you weigh and all that sort of thing, has got a big biohazard mark on it, like on my birth sheet. And it says HIV test. You know, day I was born, I had a HIV test. The scandal has existed in my life since the day I was born. It's always been there from day one.
Retracing a journey from small-town America to Raqqa and back again, Return from ISIS, A Family's Story, features revealing accounts from children flung into the center of a conflict.
Some people will have seen the ISIS propaganda video of you. What was it you would want people to understand?
That not all kids actually want to do that. That a lot of times they're forced.
With unfettered access to a group of brave activists, Welcome to Chechnya, The Gay Purge, shows how survivors of torture are helped by their organization.
Мне очень понравилась Чечня. Очень понравились люди, очень нравится их доброта, отзывчивость, то есть никогда не оставят. Вот именно обычные люди. И когда случилась вот эта вот, кажется, дискриминация геев, да, для меня был большой шок, потому что я не представлял, как могут вот эти добрейшие люди вот так жестоко относиться, ну, очень жестоко к...
So before I tell you about tonight's winner, the judges wish to single out Undercover in the Schools That Chain Boys as highly commended. An extraordinary piece of filmmaking, the investigation was expertly held together by the reporter, made even more poignant by the fact he had a personal stake in the film. Now, this winning film reminded the jury of the simple power of observational documentary filmmaking. Phenomenal access to brave central characters that made for deeply disturbing revelations, and amazing insight into the court case at the heart of this narrative was mind-blowing. The use of deepfake was innovative and exemplary. James, please tell us who the award goes to.
Grierson Award for the televisual Best Current Affairs documentary goes to Welcome to Chechnya, The Gay Purge. Please welcome on stage the producer, Alice Henty, and from the Doc Society, Jess Search.
Thank you, Grierson. It's just me tonight, I'm afraid. David and Alice, who are the director and producer of this film, live in New York, and they are in New York. But I wanted to say, as one of the exec producers, that this has been a film that was built on queer love and queer pride. And I'm enormously proud to be accepting the award on behalf not only of David and Alice, but, you know, it takes a village to make these films. It took a village of queer people and queer allies to pull this off. And the subjects of this film, you know, are the most extraordinary humans you could ever have the fortune to tell the story of. If you haven't seen the film yet, I highly recommend it to you, to meet them and understand what it really means to put your life on the line for other people. I'm really proud that this film centred the dignity and safety of its contributors, has been alluded to with the deepfake technology that kept them safe. I'm deeply proud of the impact that the film has made. I mean, we know our work makes a difference, and this particular film has an extraordinary story to tell of how it contributed to an activist and a lobbying movement that led to this regime being sanctioned by the UK government, the European government, and the US government. Mike Pompeo sanctioned the regime literally the day after seeing the film. And I'm also enormously proud of the BBC, our extraordinary public service institution that we have in this country. You know, what streamers couldn't or wouldn't do, the BBC did, not only Storyville, but they put this film out on BBC Russia. Long live the BBC. Thank you.
Okay. Our next award is for Arts Documentary. It is sponsored by Storm, who are responsible for our new Grierson idents. Representing Storm is Senior Post-Producer Anna Bevan, and with her is art historian and broadcaster Katie Hessel. Let's have a look at the nominations.
African Apocalypse follows a young British-Nigerian poet on his quest to find the real-life, bloodthirsty Mr. Kurtz from Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness.
Tell me, pray, who is this Mr. Kurtz? He was just a word for me. I did not see the man in the name any more than you do. Do you see him? Do you see the story? It seems to me I am trying to tell you a dream. Making a vain attempt because no relation of a dream can convey that notion of being captured by the incredible, which is the very essence of dreams.
An artist strikes up an unusual friendship with the criminal who stole her most valuable paintings in The Painter and the Thief.
When I was 18, we were 13 friends from the same environment. Now, we're only 2 left.
What happened with the others?
Some were killed, some killed themselves, some OD'd, some, yeah. So, then I got into a much harder kind of gang. And,
So you became a gangster, sort of?
yes. And we started pushing drugs, using drugs, partying from Wednesday to Wednesday.
Told in his inimitable style, Lem Cisse, The Memory of Me, is a chronicle of the poet's early life and his search for identity.
There was a Catholic club for the Catholics and a working men's club for the Protestants. Women weren't allowed, except for Thursday nights, for the whist drive. I was a boy from nowhere, from nobody, who was everybody's somebody. Chalky White.
Combining archive footage with unheard recordings of the artist himself, Keith Haring's Street Art Boy captures the spirit of his creative energy and the world he was a part of.
So I checked into the YMCA. I'm there my first night in New York City. So I sort of ventured out. I ended up on Christopher Street and was like a kid in a candy store. It was like gay Disneyland or something.
The judges fell in love with the film's protagonists and were fully invested in their journeys. Artfully constructed, with amazing access, the film gave viewers the inside track, enabling them to watch the contributors grow and find themselves. The result was a truly original and brilliant documentary. Anna, please tell us who the award goes to.
The Grierson for the Storm Best Arts documentary goes to The Painter and the Thief. Sadly, the filmmakers were unable to travel here tonight, so the director, Benjamin Ree, has sent this recorded message.
Thank you so much, Grierson, for awarding The Painter and the Thief. It truly means a lot to us to win such a prestigious award. Thank you, Barbora, the painter. The way you approached Karl-Bertil, your thief, when he had stolen 2 of your valuable paintings was the reason why I wanted to make this film. You did not see the thief in the guy, you saw the human. And you asked him, can I paint you? It's a fantastic question to ask. And back then, you were there for Bertil when he needed a friend. And the great thing about filming people for many years is that things change. And the way it changed was extraordinary for me, because towards the end, it was Bertil, the thief, that was there for you and helped you. That's what friendship's all about. Thank you very much, Karl-Bertil and Barbara, for saying yes to be part of this film. Thank you, Sky Arts, Dogwoof, and Neon. Thank you so much.
And thanks to me and all of you for trying to shorten a VT thank you speech there. Yeah, he's not here. Let's get on with it. I can smell it. I can smell it. Time to take a second to feature the work of the Grierson DocLabs and their trainees. This year we've got 2 new schemes and 32 new trainees, which is absolutely amazing. And I mean, I was so amazed by that I didn't applaud the first time I heard it either. It's too late now. It's too late now. You're not waiting on a VT, you're not waiting for me. I get where we're going. And 4 DocLab alumni are here tonight, and two of the current editing trainees helped to create tonight's film packages. Here's what they have to say.
This year, the Grierson DocLab expanded to include 2 new courses. One was editing and one was production management, and I was on the production management course. It's one of a kind. I don't know anybody else that's offering this kind of course, and I feel really, really blessed to be part of it.
So it's quite an intense week. Amazing people from the industry talked us through pre-production, production and post-production, but then also interweaved in all of that, just general advice and general networking with all of these amazing people.
How to clear archive, music, planning the production, working with people, all the software you're going to come across, all the jargon you're going to need. They left no stone unturned. It was really good.
We then get put onto our work placements. My work placement is with Rogan Productions and I'm in my 6th week. I've been in production meetings, development meetings, in and out of the edit suites, booking travel, sorting schedules, call sheets. I've been on shoots as well, which has been great. I'm just having the time of my life.
I'm at 72 films and I'm currently working on an archive-based documentary. I've already worked on location on that. It's been the best thing I've ever done.
I can't say enough how much it's changed my life, because it has. It's totally changed everything. And I feel like it's possible to be a production coordinator, a production manager. It feels like I can do that.
The actual Grierson training week was a series of talks, sessions, technical sessions. We had footage from Netflix that we edited, and then we got feedback from each other and from Claire, our amazing tutor.
So we get a placement as an assistant editor in a Netflix production. I got placed with working with Joe BG, who is a very experienced editor, and he's the most approachable, friendly mentor I could ever hope to have. Like, I can actually have a conversation with him and can actually see how my conversation may also affect the cut. For me, this is a highlight, to actually know that my opinion matters.
Mag's absolutely fantastic. She's well prepared, she knows what she's doing, she knows how to use the kit. And there's no way this film would be in as good a shape as it is without Mags. I reckon I'm 1/3 ahead of schedule because of everything she can look after.
Jumping from edit assistant to assistant editor is extremely difficult. I don't think I would ever manage to, go from where I was to where I am now.
I was starting to lose hope, I think, and the scheme has definitely helped me to kind of refocus and realise that
It's totally achievable. I'm so excited for like my career now. It didn't seem possible a month ago.
It's making those lasting connections and those lasting friendships as well that I think definitely made a difference.
I think it was just a really great experience, quite empowering.
I do feel that the Grierson put me not one step closer, like 1,000 steps closer. So thank you, Grierson.
Thank you, Grierson Trust.
There you go. Big up the Joby G Massive. Well done, everybody. I think they came out of that very well. It's almost as if they edited it them. Our next award is for Best Entertaining Documentary, which is just like Best Entertainment Documentary, except it actually entertains, with a wit and a lightness of touch, even when tackling the darkest of subjects. To present the award tonight, please welcome from YouTube Originals, Luke Himes. Let's have a little look at our nominations.
Two ordinary men embark on a dangerous mission to penetrate the world's most secretive and brutal dictatorship in The Mole, infiltrating North Korea.
This one is the intelligence officer?
Mm-hmm. His English was really good. His questions was definitely different of the other, and he kind of start interrogate me. And it's in that time I have to come up with a company name, because we didn't have a company name at that time.
Okay.
So he says, "What's your company name?" I said, "The one who's taking care of this is Target Group." I was like, please remember that name.
Examining how debt is created and sold in our economy, Bank Job offers some explosive ideas about how local people can come together and change the system.
We've got to launder this lot. It's about teaching people about how money's made, how it's put around the world, and how it can translate into your everyday life.
So, can you just tell us what your name is and what you're doing here?
Well, I can't tell you my name, can I, Dan? That would defeat the purpose of the disguise. Oh, no!
Undercover OAP, the Mole Agent, follows what happens when 83-year-old Sergio is given an assignment to spy on the staff and residents of a retirement home.
Rómulo, este es el informe de hoy día, miércoles. Estuve en la sala grande mirando si descubría el blanco. Tenía como 4 candidatas, pero todas las señoras me parecen iguales.
Huerfawa explores a complex relationship between a filmmaker and her sister as they try to understand one another following a serious accident.
Yng ngwraig I, dda'n di prodi, dwi'n di ddeud wrth mam a dad, yn ystod cinio. Ac o'n i'n teimlo fatha, Jesus, dwi wedi cerdded I mewn I Jeremy Kyle. Ond ti'n gwybod, os fysa chdi'n chwaer, sa chdi di fel dwisio, sa chdi di codi'r ffôn a di dweud, hei, gynnau gariad, gynnau bisin. O na, oedd o just oedd dy fywyd I di digwydd, ac oedden ni'n cael rhyw snapshot ohoni hi, a dramatic snapshot yn ystod cinio dalig. Waw. A da ni'n hynod I dechrau'r therapi.
All right. The judges were completely gripped by this fascinating story. They called it breathtaking, jaw-dropping, surreal, crazy, fearless, bombastic, beautiful, and honest. If you missed it, where were you? The Grierson Award for the YouTube Originals Best Entertaining Documentary goes to The Mole, Infiltrating North Korea. Please welcome on the stage the producer, Peter Engel, and Mr. James himself.
Here they come. Come on, one more time.
Well, if you have seen the film, I'm not prepared. Neither am I now. But I would say to this man, he's very, very, very strong, because he sent me to the world, to the most crazy spots, and thought I could carry it home. I've been very funny, and my wife said we have a Björk von Trier relationship. But it has been an honor working with you and quite fun.
Yeah, it has been very funny to make this film, actually. Even we have been traveling a lot together. Yeah, that's another story. But we need, or we like, to say very much thank you to Storyville. I know I was told that we should not spend time on saying thanks to everybody, but then there's especially two people I want to mention. They are rude, they are tough, they are very irritating, but they're also very clever and very smart. And it was the two commissioning editors we had on Storyville, Haley Reynolds and Mandy Cheng. Thank you for having our back all the time. This is to you.
I would also like to thank two people, Ulrich, who couldn't be here today, because without him we wouldn't have been here, and for my wife for letting me go, especially when I went to North Korea. So thank you so much, and thank you for the award. Thank you.
I mean, I kind of think they should just present the rest. I mean, how good was that? Okay, before we move on, we would like to take a moment to remember the brilliant filmmaker, Roger Michel, who died so suddenly in September. Just 6 days before, he had been sitting on the jury panel for our next award, providing his thoughtful and brilliant observations. Much loved and highly regarded, his passing is a huge loss to the industry, and we offer our sincere condolences to his family and his friends. And so to Best Single Documentary International, which recognises single films on a contemporary issue with an international perspective. To present, please welcome Jack Lachlan from our sponsors Molinaire, and with him the handsome yet unfeasibly talented Louis Theroux. Here's our nominations.
Exposing a corrupt political system in Romania, Collective Unraveling a Scandal joins a team of determined journalists as they uncover the horrifying details of a major healthcare fraud.
Și sursa spune că, după părerea ei, n-au schimbat rețetarul nici după colectiv.
Da. Și mi-a zis, în loc să omoare bacteriile, ne omoară pe noi.
Și a doua persoană a zis la fel, că nu vreau să fiu un criminal. Am o anumită conștiință și de-aia plecat de la firmă.
A longitudinal study of a single father serving in the US Army, Father Soldier Son explores how ideas about masculinity are passed down through the generations.
You know what my biggest fear is? Isaac says he's got a buddy at school that his dad went to Iraq and he changed. I don't want to be that dad. I want to be the same fun dad, you know, that We don't get half our security deposit back because we shot all the airsoft rounds in the house because we had airsoft fights inside the house, or too many water fights and got in the walls. You know, that's the dad I want to be. I still want to be able to come home and have fun and not, you know, scream and yell at my kids. So, yeah.
A contemporary account of an ongoing humanitarian crisis, Welcome to Chechnya, The Gay Purge, bears witness to the work of activists rescuing victims of anti-LGBTQ violence.
Нам пришлось выстраивать контакты с зарубежными партнерами. Помогают нам финансово, помогают нам логистически. Нам действительно удалось объединить практически все существующие на сегодня ЛГБТ-организации в мире для того, чтобы заниматься эвакуацией людей из России.
The three deaths of Maricela Escobedo follows a mother's tireless crusade to jail her daughter's murderer after Mexico's justice system fails her.
Salir a las calles junto con nosotros, de exigir justicia, de cuidar y de no esperar a que les toque a ellos. Porque son madres que han dejado a hijos en la orfandad, porque son jóvenes hijas de familia, porque son jóvenes estudiantes, porque son el futuro de nuestra ciudad y nuestro país.
There was much to be admired and celebrated in all of these nominated films, but in tonight's winner, the judges were completely gripped by an extraordinary film about systematic corruption. The filmmakers revealed the unfolding political scandal in an understated but always intensely dramatic way. This was observational documentary at its best. Jack, please tell us who the winner is.
The Grierson Award for the Molyneux Best Single Documentary International goes to Collective, Unravelling a Scandal. Please welcome on the stage film's producer, Bernard Michaud.
Thank you very much. Wow. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, everybody. 3 years ago, we were finishing this film, we were finishing principal shooting of this film, and we kind of hoped that the world would be better when we would come out with this film. Well, in Romania, nothing changed, and worldwide, things only got worse. We are living in a time where the fight between the people who protect a society and democracy and the people who fight this is an open and public fight. And I think we need now more than ever investigative journalism. We have to protect them, we have to support them, we have to buy their content, we have to share their content, and that's very important right now. And the winners, the producers of the film, Hanka, Bianca, Alex, and myself, we would like to dedicate this award tonight to a champion for our film and a champion to the documentary world, which was Diane Weierman. Thank you.
Our next award recognizes outstanding contribution to documentary presenting, bringing originality, insight, and perspective to a subject. Now, just so you know, I am a previous winner in this category, which means they sometimes get it very wrong. To present the award, please welcome last year's winner, Mobeen Hazar. Here's our nominations.
Move over, Louis Theroux. There's a new girl in town. I can't wait.
Alison Hammond, back to school, sees the This Morning presenter turn historian as she sets out to educate herself about Black British history and digs the dirt on the latest research.
I can't believe how much I'm loving it. I never thought I'd get into this, but it's actually quite addictive, you know. How much do you reckon I'd get for this at the Antiques Roadshow?
You might get the police coming around and saying, where did you find that stuff?
Really? Oh, can we not keep it once we...
No, it all goes
It's not ours.
it all goes to the museum.
Really thought it was finders keepers. I don't think I would have put as much effort in if I'd known.
Inspired by the loss of his dear friend Joe, Roman Kemp sets out on a personal investigation of male mental health and suicide in Our Silent Emergency.
You know, I go through in my mind like all the time, like, what could I have said? I mean, do you know what I mean? Do you ever feel like that? Do you ever feel like, do you question what it is that you could
all
have
the
said?
time. I just feel like maybe if I had said one different word to him on one day, that there would have been a different outcome. But
What would you say to him now?
that I love him.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's really hard.
It's really hard.
Yinka Bocchini remembers her friend Damilola Taylor in Damilola, the Boy Next Door. Revisiting her childhood home, she reflects on the impact of his death on her and her peers.
Like, he was dying and I was just in my house, like 50 yards away. I've never in my life felt as lost as I did at that moment because I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't understand what it meant. It was especially hard because it was my area. Like, it's like the veneer had dropped and, you know, I'd opened my eyes. And even though physically things were the same, it was so unrecognizable.
As doctors working on the front line during the pandemic, Chris and Zand van Tulleken experience firsthand the effects of COVID-19 in Surviving the Virus, My Brother and Me.
I know Zand's had an irregular heartbeat since having COVID, but I wasn't expecting to see him in my own A&E. That heart rate's a little fast.
Blood pressure's a bit low as well.
So what happened?
I woke up at 3 in the morning, was quite panicked. I went into this heart rhythm, and then I started to just feel really, really, really ill. And then I was sick. So here I am.
So your heart rate's 170, but obviously you're lying in a hospital.
Yeah, it's like my heart's doing a marathon, and I'm just sitting here doing nothing.
Colleagues and friends, it is so lovely to see your faces. Before I announce the winner of tonight's award, the judges want to recognise Doctors Chris and Zand van Tulleken, who's highly commended for their extraordinary film, Surviving the Virus, My Brother and Me, filmed at the start of the pandemic when none of us really knew how things were going to unfold. It was a gripping watch and a privilege to witness their journey. Our winner tonight was a compelling on-screen presence, offering a deeply personal insight on an emotional and nuanced exploration of loss and trauma for themselves and their community. The Grierson Award for Best Documentary Presenter goes to Yinka Bocchini. Please welcome her to the stage.
I knew I was going to fall. It was always bound to happen. Thank you so much. I don't know if you can see that I'm like shitting myself because I didn't think I was going to win, but this is amazing. It's such a a polarizing feeling to have such a recognised documentary and a recognised film when it comes from a place of utter trauma and utter loss. And I am just so grateful to Channel 4 and to Fozia for just introducing me to Acme and introducing me to Ashley, and he really stepped into my life and directed the hell out of me and my family and the contributors. And so just thank you to everyone who was involved, everyone who's watched it and said lovely things. And ultimately, this means the world because it shows me that documentary film isn't just about who you know or, I don't know, like, what is packaged as TV is meant to be, and real film, real stories, and real love and honor can just prevail. Before I forget, thank you to Courtney, my manager, who I always forget to say thank you to in speeches, but this is wicked. You guys are awesome. Thank you, thank you.
And so, to a brand new award for 2021, the Grierson Hero of the Year. Nominated by you guys in the industry, it honours an individual who has made a positive and meaningful impact within our world this year and gone the extra mile to make an outstanding difference. Now, there are many unsung heroes in our business who rarely garner awards. But in a year with a skill shortage in production management, the Grierson Trust is proud tonight to shine a light on the pivotal role of production managers in film and television. No, you're not going there. We can't afford it. Think of something else. To tell us more, please welcome on stage Director Adam Wishart and from the Talent Manager, Sarah Lee.
Every documentary is a triumph for production management, and our heads of production should all be recognised. But this is personal. Serena Kennedy is my hero. 9/11 inside the president's war room was brutal and relentless. A pandemic, her 56-page COVID protocols, 15 weeks on the road across 2 trips, 10,000 miles of tarmac, hurricanes, 2 edits, 327 graphic elements, robot cameras in Dick Cheney's garage, an unprecedented co-production deal. All orchestrated by our Serena, locked down in the West Country. For months, her British workday was followed straight afterwards by an American West Coast one, taking her beyond midnight. The talismanic moment for me was in February, Austin, Texas, a foot of snow, the worst storm in 70 years, an electricity blackout, a civil emergency, queues outside supermarkets, water pouring through the ceiling of our Airbnb. Serena not only finds the only hotel in town with a generator, allowing us to interview Karl Rove, later she finds the only accommodation within 200 miles that we can ice road truck to. Oh, and meanwhile, she's sorting out another film, of which more later. But Serena brought more to this film than managing our fiendish logistics. She made a set of vital strategic business decisions, and it wouldn't have happened without those. Because through the long years of our film not being funded, various colleagues and friends would say that we were being too ambitious. They say, why not just make it for what the BBC's offering? Or you'll never, ever get more than X. But Serena would pull out one of her 26 iterations of the budget and say it wasn't possible. She'd say there's only one film to make, it's bigger than you think, and you'll only get access to the president and others if we think at scale. Those were creative decisions, born out of wisdom, experience, the craft of understanding the numbers in TV, and those decisions were as important as any of the countless editorial choices that we made along the way. So in every way, this award is well-deserved. Congratulations. Anyway, here are some other fans of Serena.
The Sparks Brothers was my first foray into documentary, and it wouldn't have been possible without the incredible hard work of our amazing line producer, Serena Kennedy. It was a Herculean task condensing a 50-year career into a feature-length documentary with over 80 studio interviews, 84 minutes of archive, over 100 music tracks, and a post-production period that more than doubled, not to mention a pandemic thrown in for good measure. And the fact that she made all of this work within our budget is nothing short of magic.
As President George W. Bush's Chief of Staff, I knew how important it was to ensure that the engine of the presidency ran smoothly.
During a crisis, it's really important to set a tone and not to panic.
You had a vital role in making sure the staffing, scheduling, and resources were as needed to make sure production of the documentary went smoothly, and it did. The precision, clarity, and focus allowed me, and I'm sure all of the others, to feel comfortable when taking part in the film.
Huge congratulations to you, Serena, on receiving the very well-deserved Grierson Hero of the Year award. I really hope we can work together on my next documentary, whatever that is.
You're a star. Congratulations on winning the Hero of the Year award.
It is my great pleasure to present the inaugural Talent Manager Grierson Hero of the Year award to Serena Kennedy.
Okay, so everything I prepared is just probably going to go out the window now. I'm completely blown over by that. And yeah, you clever buggers. Okay. So, it is a huge honour to be receiving this award, particularly in a year that was so darn difficult for us all. We made the seemingly impossible possible, but only through very close collaboration, honesty, respect, and understanding. I want to thank everyone who nominated me for this award. So Adam and, sorry, I'm having a complete mental blank, sorry. I can't believe I've forgotten Edgar. No. Adam and Edgar, Neil Grant, Laura Richardson, and Naira Park. To thank everybody who had any involvement in both films. It was an incredible feat, and I'm very proud of both of them. I also want to thank the Production Managers Association members for their sage advice, not just this year, but over the years, over the last 25 years probably for me now. And to my friends and family for your patience and understanding, and for still being there when I re-emerged. Production management is in crisis. Demand has never been higher, but people are leaving the industry and our mental health is suffering. For some, COVID has been the straw that broke the camel's back. So I hope this is the start of a new era where production managers are properly supported, where they're involved in editorial discussions, as we were from the outset, where budgets can accommodate realistic staffing levels, where the scope of our role is better understood, where there is training and mentoring and parity of pay, just to bear in mind that most of us are women as well. So thank you. Thank you very much to the production managers who highlighted this, and to Lorraine Hegarty for championing us and for your kind words. To the Grierson Trust for taking the lead in recognising all our efforts, and to the talent manager for sponsoring this award. Next year, we share a birthday. I'm 50. And I hope by then that all production company nominees here will gladly name their swans, the key production people who are paddling away beneath the surface, who hold your productions in the palm of their hands, and who are instrumental in delivering these wonderful films. So this is for all heads of production, line producers, production execs, production managers, coordinators, secretaries, and in fact, if you're here, you should stand up and we should applaud all of you, to all production managers. Are there any here? Maybe not. Woo! Hey! And to all other nominees, and this is one for the regions as well. Thank you.
Well done, Serena. And if someone could just hold up a piece of paper just off the camera to the left, we are now going to continue with Best Documentary. There you go. Thank you to all our production managers there for almost starting a revolution. Just a few awards to go. I mean, stuff it, let's go. Next up, Best Documentary Short, sponsored by the Rumi Foundation. To announce this year's recipient, would you please welcome writer and broadcaster Trevor Phillips. Here's the nominations.
A Love Song for Latasha remembers the life and dreams of 15-year-old Latasha Harlins, whose killing became a flashpoint for the 1992 LA uprising.
And she would be the only girl on the court playing basketball with these hoopers, these big OGs, and we play games with the kids that were younger than us sometimes, and we would just have fun. A lot of younger kids, they looked at her almost like their neighborhood big sister.
Mother is a revealing portrait of a group of friends from a favela in Rio as they train for the biggest voguing event of the season.
Cada cena barroom é uma história. São histórias sendo contadas. São coisas que aqui fora não podemos falar, que dentro da cena barroom do Vogue a gente fala.
Take Your Knee Off My Neck, My First Time, offers candid and deeply personal testimony from people recalling the first time they were racially abused.
To know that that comment was only made because of the skin that I didn't choose hurts me.
Because in that moment, you realise it's like, ah, that's how you see me. And that's what you think of me.
A journey through youth culture and identity in Malaysia, Disciples depicts rising tension between opposing factions of the skinhead community.
Di Malaysia ni dibagi pada tiga macam belah-belah skinhead ni. Sharp skin, traditional dengan Nazi. So aku ni perbanggaan sharp skinhead against racial prejudice. Berlawan dengan Nazi ni.
Evening. What is humiliating is that all of those films are better than anything I ever made. Anyway, the winning film crammed a lot into its short, punchy time frame. It expertly combined animation, music, interviews, and a whole array of visual treats to add layers of texture in a subtle and unexpected way, and created a touching eulogy of a film. The Grierson Award for the Rumi Foundation Best Documentary Short goes to A Love Song for Latasha. Unfortunately, filmmakers couldn't be here this evening, but producer Sophia Halle-Allison sent this message.
Thank you for recognizing A Love Song for Latasha. We are so deeply honored to receive this award. On behalf of the team, I would like to dedicate this moment to Tybee O'Barr, Latasha's best friend, and Shanice Harlan's Latasha's cousin. Thank you so much for allowing us to be on this journey with you. Thank you for trusting us, and thank you for sharing such beautiful and intimate memories about Latasha Harlan's. This film is dedicated to Black girls, Black women in South Central. May we always engage with our archive and rebuild it in ways that are healing for us and for the community. Thank you.
Best Constructed Documentary Series is next, and to announce the recipient on behalf of Channel 4, would you please welcome one of this year's judging panel, Bake Off's very own Prue Leith. Here's our nominations.
The Doghouse matches prospective dog owners with their perfect pooch and reveals the many motivations for adopting a rescue animal.
My friends are starting to have children, and my heart does hurt a bit knowing that that's probably not going to be our path.
Hello. Hello. Can I be your mummy?
The school that tried to end racism follows the highs and lows of a pioneering project to help secondary school students uncover and eradicate hidden racial biases.
If you've never been asked where you come from, take a step forward.
It's kind of frustrating that, like, me and Sarah are just standing at the back here while the majority of people who may be white are, like, standing right at the front. That just frustrates me a bit, because it's almost as in what society is today. I don't want this to be how it is, but it is.
Gareth Malone conducts a chorus of voices deeply affected by the pandemic in The Choir Singing for Britain. Writing songs about their experiences, frontline workers demonstrate the power of music.
Your family loves you, they send their love.
Your family love you, they send their love.
They know you're safe, they know I'm here looking after you.
Oh, it's a little Scottish folk song.
Helping the nation express themselves during lockdown, Grierson's Art Club inspired makers from around the country by sharing creative ideas and personal stories.
Why not make the fanzine that would have happened had I been a rock star?
Oh. Grierson.
Ooh. I mean, what better image for Dreams Week?
You dreaming 1987.
Dreaming of being a rock star, and I've ended up as a potter and a TV presenter.
Never mind, darling.
Our winning series had a highly original format that felt fresh and raw, taking us on an unexpected journey that never felt overly emotional, but was poignant and very thought-provoking. There was a Catherine Wheel effect as the impact of the experiment sparked beyond their families, communities, and ultimately to the viewers themselves. The Grierson Award for the Channel 4 Best Constructed Documentary Series goes to the school that tried to end racism.
Well, I didn't think we were going to win, so I didn't really prepare anything. Thanks to Grierson Trust. Thanks to Alf up there, Channel 4, for supporting us through this and wrestling it through the edit and getting it on screen at the right time and the right time of the year in a very timely fashion. Thanks to our amazing team. As you can see, they're all white. Dressed in black. You know, these guys really opened themselves up and really, I think, really wrestled with what the black experience actually feels like during that production. You know, we started making this back in 2017, before the pandemic, before George Floyd, before all the madness that we're sort of inundated with every day. And, you know, it's one of those evergreen subjects, isn't it? It never goes away. We can run it over and over again. It's always here with us. But my lasting memory is the class at Glenthorne High, Class 7S, and how quickly they absorbed, adapted, and dealt with and confronted some of the difficult issues that is taking us generations to conquer. So this is for them, and thank you very much.
Time now for our second new category tonight. It is Best Sports Documentary. To tell us, yes, about this year's recipient, please welcome record-breaking Paralympian swimmer Ellie Robinson. Here are the nominations.
Athlete A is the story of the hundreds of elite gymnasts who were sexually abused by their team doctor and the reporters who exposed the cover-up by USA Gymnastics.
Instead of being protected, I was humiliated, I was in trouble, and brainwashed into believing that I was the problem.
Every time Angela stood up and said, survivor XYZ is coming forward and she has decided to speak publicly, that was just an incredibly powerful statement every single time. Because it meant that they felt safe enough, and it meant that they were able to put the shame not on themselves, but on their abuser.
Anton Ferdinand, Football, Racism and Me sees the former professional footballer explore the issue of racism and what can be done to improve things for the players of today.
You will come to a point where you start to blame yourself. Can't blame yourself. You didn't ask to be put in this position. You didn't ask to be racially abused. Because you need to understand and know that there is a support system out there. I want to be a part of that because I wouldn't want any of you to feel like how I felt. And if it ever does happen to you, reach out.
A portrait of a World Cup winning footballer, Finding Jack Charlton offers intimate insight into the man, his career, and his final battle with dementia.
If you said to him, Jeff Hurst, he'd look and go, who? But if he met Jeff, he'd know him.
Paul McGraw.
Taking us back to the 1980s, Gods of Snooker celebrates the golden age of the sport and reveals an unlikely cast of cue-wielding superstars.
He'd been boozing till about 7 o'clock in the morning. I met him at the Forum. And he was still shaking then. So, no, he didn't get the best preparation.
Oh, very nearly enough, but not quite. But he has done some damage, I feel.
He was pissed. Absolutely.
Alex taking a sup of a glass of sarsaparilla.
He was in another planet.
The award goes to a meticulous and devastating film about the willingness of the sports industry to turn a blind eye in the service of power and money, and the devastating impact that that can have. The bravery and self-possession of the contributors was at times heartbreaking. The Grierson Award for the Best Sports Documentary goes to Athlete A. Collecting the awards are UK gymnasts Lisa Mason and Catherine Leon.
And while Lisa and Catherine make their way to the stage, here's a quick message from the filmmakers.
Thank you so much. We're deeply humbled and honored to accept this award tonight. We accept this award on behalf of the brave women and journalists who stood up and fought against the system and stuck up for their rights, and ultimately were able to bring justice in a sport that was long overdue.
And we're especially gratified to see all the movements around the world cropping up to resist and stand up against these institutions and stand up for rights, not the least of which is a huge movement in the UK, where Grierson is based. And so we're really gratified. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good night.
It's a great honour to be accepting this award on behalf of Athlete A, Netflix, and the directors John and Bonnie. We owe a huge debt of gratitude to the courageous, brave young gymnasts in America who exposed the mistreatment of gymnasts in the sport, in all levels, in the emotional, the mental, the physical, and the sexual.
This documentary opened up the doors for so many gymnasts globally to finally get a chance to speak up, to tell their truth, and finally being heard. It was like the moment where we actually came together and we were the driving force for change within our sport. So we thank Athlete A for allowing us the chance to do so.
Thank you, guys. And so the Best History Documentary, sponsored by Channel 5, to present the award, please welcome the brilliant Alexander Armstrong. Here's the nominations.
DeLorean Back from the Future uses unseen archive footage to chart the rise and fall of John DeLorean and his doomed attempt to build the car of the future in war-torn Belfast.
John DeLorean was a man who made me think of George Bernard Shaw's famous aphorism. There are two tragedies in life. One is not getting your heart's desire. The other is getting it.
Silenced, the hidden story of disabled Britain uncovers the shocking reality of how disabled people were shut out of British society for decades.
If you look back at that history, there was this whole idea, if you were disabled in every way. You were mentally disabled, physically disabled, morally disabled. They were all tied up. You were a lower form of life. The more disabled you looked, the more this was assumed of you.
Combining first-hand testimonies with personal archive material, Once Upon a Time in Iraq exposes the reality of war and its chaotic aftermath.
الناس تقول لا راح صدام راح يتحسن العراق.
That sense of joy was a definite truth. Now the question is, how long did it last? And that was not long. Iraq was in absolute chaos.
What's been going on here?
Fucking war's going on.
Damilola, the boy next door, looks back at the life of Damilola Taylor 20 years after his death and examines the community he was a part of.
We're in 1987. The milkman has long since given up his milk round. The police move hesitantly in pairs. This is years before I was born and years before we moved in. In 1987, they said that the milkman can't even go to North Peckham. So why was I put in North Peckham? Fortress London. Gangs of thugs are turning a big estate into a no-go area. No-go. No-go. Shocked by lives lived in squalor. He's in the danger zone. Poor guy. Hope you got him okay.
Good evening. The Grierson goes to a profound and powerful piece of work with focused journalism and great editing. The judges declared it genre-defining, totally gripping, and the whole package. The Grierson for the Channel 5 Best Historical Documentary goes to Once Upon a Time in Iraq. Please welcome on stage series director James Blumel and members of the production team.
Let's hear it one more time.
Thanks very much. It's great to be here, and I suppose really, what was I going to say? The people that shared their stories are the people I want to thank, and especially the Iraqis that really felt like they wanted to share their stories. So I'm very glad that those stories have now been heard and recognized. So thank you.
Now the BBC Grierson Trustees Award, which is always a highlight of the evening where we celebrate someone truly special. It says here, which makes everyone that come before you feel not special. So there you go. To tell us more about this year's recipient, here is the Chief Executive of the Doc Society. Please welcome Jess Search.
Hello again, and thank you to Grierson for choosing me, the president of the Tabitha Jackson International Fan Club London Division, to introduce this award. Taking my inspiration from Tabitha, I have of course written this at the very last minute over lots of vodka-based cocktails. Yes, one of many lessons that I've taken from the master herself. Now, for this room, you probably first became aware of Tabitha Jackson as the bold new commissioning editor of documentary strand True Stories, or perhaps of Random Acts, the consciousness-expanding art strand, also on Channel 4, which brooked no opposition and no boundary to form or content, and where Tabitha breathed first life into many extraordinary British creative projects.
It's been 8 years since Tabitha was handed over to the US as part of a high-level trade agreement. But we know she took her love of true stories and random acts in her suitcase with her. At Sundance Institute, she soon planted a flag with her influential Art of Nonfiction initiative. Tabitha is an explorer, but she is not a careerist, and it has been beautiful watching her get talked into the next big job, one after the other. People realize they need Tabitha, and they need her because she is a believer. She believes that artists are leaders. She believes that creativity liberates. And she believes that political change starts here in the eye of the beholder. The first line of Ways of Seeing by her beloved John Berger is seeing comes before words. The child looks and recognizes before it can speak. And when I close my eyes now, I think of two photographs. One, a close-up of Tabitha's eye, and the other, a close-up of her partner's eye, taken for their wedding. Reader, she literally married the camera person, director and cinematographer Kirsten Johnson. And that wedding, it was at Park City with the kids, Viva and Felix, running around right before Tabitha was announced as the next director of the Sundance Film Festival. At Sundance, she has had room to grow, room to think, to convert deep thought to practice, and to become a magnetic public speaker and champion of independent artists all over the world. But no tribute to Tabitha would be complete without an acknowledgement of how bad she is at replying to emails and how incredibly funny she is. Always mischievous and never cruel. Some of her nicknames for people, including myself, are eye-poppingly good. And her liberal use of British swear words in formal settings is quite legendary. So thank God for Tabitha and her random acts of brilliance, her random acts of kindness, and her random acts of profanity. I can't wait to see what you do next, dear friend. And now let's hear from some other members of the International Fan Club.
Apple 2, take 1.
Tabitha Jackson is, I would say, the person who is most instrumental in my television career. When she commissioned me and Neil Crombie to make a series about class and taste, she said, "I want you to author this, Grierson." And I said, "But I'm an artist." And then she said the magic words that unlocked my entire career. She said, "Well, make some art about it then." And I'm still doing it. I put my whole kind of modus operandi down to that conversation with lovely Tabitha.
She was the commissioning editor at Channel 4. And in that role, she was, I think, a truly inspirational executive. I first worked with Tabitha on a film called The Imposter, and she just backed it. She backed the risks that Bart wanted to take, and her passion and enthusiasm for the project was just infectious, which is really what you want in a commissioning executive. So when she went to work for Sundance, it made a lot of sense, because I thought that Sundance, a film festival known for backing risk-taking and documentary, would embrace someone like Tabitha. So it's incredibly gratifying to see her in the top job at Sundance, the first documentary executive in that role.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jackson, to you.
Among your many accomplishments, you swam against the current and created the Art of Nonfiction Fellowship to support the adventurous artistic spirit of filmmakers whose work didn't fit neatly into the existing documentary space in the US. You elevated an amazing cohort of award-winning filmmakers, and the way in which you did it shook us up and moved us forward. I can't wait to see what you do in the years ahead.
You can't simply replace someone like John Cooper.
No, you can't. But you have to.
You do have to.
I love Tabitha, but more than that, I think a bigger word is I am proud of her. I'm proud of what she's doing with the festival, and I'm proud that she's getting this award tonight. And thank you, Grierson people, for honoring my friend Tabitha.
Congratulations, Tabitha. It couldn't be going to a more worthy and lovely person.
Congratulations, friend. I can't wait to celebrate with you.
So, Tabitha, I think this is the moment when you kneel and then arise, and I say, it is my great pleasure to present the BBC Grierson Trustee Award to Tabitha Jackson.
Wow. That was, I'm not crying, you're crying. What an incredible honor to receive this award. Jestical, beautiful, beautiful words. I totally owe you one. And thank you so much to the Grierson Trustees for bestowing this incredibly prestigious award on me, the sweary one. And I wanted to thank the BSL translators who was doing such a great job tonight, and wondered if you would just mind signing "fuck" for me, because this is a formal setting and I want to see what it looks like in signing. One thing I noticed, which I didn't learn in film school, because I didn't go to film school, is that although I am the first Black woman to run the Sundance Film Festival, I am whiter than John Grierson. But I love him. I'm speaking to you from a top secret bunker in LA, otherwise known as a dodgy Airbnb, where we are at the moment trying to lock the program for the next festival. And I have the responsibility and the privilege of thinking about documentary as we do this and what it says. It means a huge amount to get this award from the Grierson Trust because of the Trust's peerless championing and elevating and supporting the highest standards of documentary. And it made me think about the mentorship that I've received from some amazing institutions and the even more amazing people who work within them. The BBC taught me the value of documentary as a public good. Channel 4 taught me the importance of challenging orthodoxies, whether in form, in content, or in maker. Film 4 taught me to follow the artist and protect and facilitate their vision. And Sundance taught me about the singular power of an independent voice and an interdependent community. So in these times when nothing can be taken for granted, our health, our democracy, our justice systems, our capacity not to make ourselves extinct, I want to urge us all to continue to fight for what we believe in. I believe this form, documentary, contains a moral imagination and a tender gaze that has the capacity for societal transformation. It is a meaning-making machine powered by curiosity, empathy, and subjective expression. It's a trouble-making machine powered by righteous indignation, a nose for injustice, and what Martha Graham called the blessed unrest of its creators. And it is a time machine capable of retelling a story from the past to inform the present and illuminate an imagined future. But it can only do these things if we take care of it. So let's resist having our heads completely turned by the fickle mistress of the marketplace, and let's commit to expanding the language of documentary to meet this moment with honesty, boldness, and imagination. Not many jokes, so I'm going to say fuck again. Thank you so very much for this award.
There you go. I've just submitted a feature film to Sundance through Alan in Bankside. I was hoping to ask her on the screen so she could tell me to fuck right off in person. Our penultimate award of the evening, folks. We are almost there. Yes, we are. Yes. It is for Best Single Documentary Domestic, which crowns the best contemporary British storytelling. It is sponsored by Envy, where tonight's clip packages were created. So please give an extra warm welcome to Senior Online Editor, Dick Everton. And with him, it is Adi de Capitan. Let's have a look at the nominations.
A deeply personal account of living with a rare neurological disease. Locked in, breaking the silence, sees Xavier Alford confront the illness he's long denied.
Last night, my wife was holding this arm, and she's like, "It's happening to your left arm," and I know that scares her. The main thing was in my head. That's heavy. I just say, no, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
Katie Price, Harvey and Me follows Katie and her disabled son Harvey as he turns 18, and they face tough decisions about his future.
Forever.
Forever.
I love it.
I love you too forever, Harv. Anytime.
Oh, exactly, baby.
You're with Mum forever and ever and ever.
For God for that.
I have to make the decisions because Harvey can't make the decisions. I'm sitting there now and I don't know where to start yet. But I think it's important that I realise I might have to let go a little bit.
Following the young rapper after release from prison, Defending Diggity examines the challenges he faces to make music whilst under extreme scrutiny from the police.
This is not my genre of music, so you have to guide me on this in terms of what everything means. Jump out and put them in a coffin.
Yeah, it's a
what are
dance
you
move.
referring to? Oh, it's a dance move.
Yeah.
Where's that from? Where can I find that?
It's on YouTube. It's a meme. TikTok.
It's a YouTube meme.
Part biography, part witness statement, David Attenborough, A Life on Our Planet, reflects on the defining moments of the broadcaster's lifetime and the many changes he has witnessed.
You saw a blue marble, a blue sphere in the blackness, and you realized that that was the Earth. And in that one shot, there was the whole of humanity, with nothing else except the person that was in the spacecraft taking that picture. And that completely changed the mindset of the population, the human population of the world.
The 4 finalists in this category shared some outstanding documentary attributes. Great characters, beautiful storytelling, and eye-opening insights. But after decades of research and standout filmmaking, only one chronicler of our times can tell this story in this way and still marshal hope for the future. Dickie, please tell us who the award goes to.
Thank you, Ade. I'm delighted to announce that the Grierson for the Envy Best Single Documentary Domestic goes to David Attenborough, A Life on Our Planet. Please welcome to the stage the director and producers, Johnny Hughes, Alistair Fothergill, Keith Shawley and Colin Butfield.
Thank you very much. All those important stories we've seen tonight, absolutely extraordinary. It reminds me of the incredibly valuable thing that we're all involved in here, documentary filmmaking. It's absolutely amazing. The important story we had to tell at Silverback was the relationship between our species and our planet, and we wanted to elevate it from a kind of niche participation to a much more of a mass audience engagement. And there's no better accomplice really in that job than Sir David Attenborough, who was incredibly brave and generous to allow us to tell this story through his life. So our big thanks go out to Sir David, of course, but also to the entire team at Silverback, Jane Hamlin, Laura Meacham, Ilara Malaliu, our DIT team, Dan Clamp and Darren Clementson, who are absolutely tireless in their work, all our researchers and our production coordinators, and the great talent we have in Bristol to call upon. So Wounded Buffalo for the audio and Films at 59 for our pictures. And our great artists, the cinematographer Gavin Thurston, who's worked with David over many, many decades, Martin Ellsbury, and Steve Price, the composer, who did an incredible job on this. So that's from me.
We also want to thank the people who really made it possible to give David the freedom to tell the story the way he wanted to do that. And those people were, we partnered with WWF at the start, and they raised through some amazingly generous donors the money to get the film going. And then we partnered with our old friends at Netflix, Lisa Nimashura and Adam Del Deo especially, thanks to them. And I think that combination gave David that space to tell a deeply personal story about the thing that's most important to him. So thanks to those people for allowing that to happen.
Thank you.
Folks, we have made it to our final award of the evening. Yes. Oh, Paddy boy, the bar is calling. It is the award for Best Documentary Series. To present it, please. Yes. Come on, yeah. To present it, please welcome a winner of the Venice Film Festival's Award for Best Young Actor for his performance in the Oscar-winning director Paolo Sorrentino's The Hand of God, Filippo Scotti. I am so sorry, Filippo, from the glamour of Venice to this. Keep drinking, keep drinking. This is an amazing category. Let's see your nominations.
Using a wealth of home footage, Alan V. Farrow looks back at one of Hollywood's most notorious families and examines the fallout from accusations of abuse against Woody Allen made by his daughter Dylan.
There was a long period of guilt for me. I felt like I had caused a rift in my family. I felt if I just, kept his secret that I could have spared my mom all this grief and my brothers and sisters, myself.
Embedded with immigration and customs enforcement, Immigration Nation profiles the people on the front line of the US government's hostile drive to find and deport illegal immigrants.
Que veníamos en los Estados Unidos y el guía que me trajo me dejó abandonado, ¿cierto?
Ah, está bien, relájese. Está bien aquí, ¿no? Ahorita, ¿entiendes?
¿Cómo?
Está bien aquí ahorita.
Sí.
Está bien.
Y
¿Cómo se siente aquí?
ya nadie, ¿quién me va a llevar? Voy para Los Ángeles. ¿Dónde estoy ahorita? No sé.
Tucson. De Tucson.
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 ¿Dónde queda y Los Ángeles?
Los Ángeles.
Sí.
Mucho, me dice.
Baby Surgeons Delivering Miracles follows the work of pioneering fetal medicine doctors as they perform extraordinary operations on babies still inside the womb.
We can treat the anemia rather than expose her to severe prematurity. And that involves a thin needle in your tummy.
You ready?
And feel a sharp scratch against your skin, just there.
Where through the needle, we can give her blood.
Okay, connect, please.
For about 5 to 10 minutes, just to top her up to a normal level.
10 mils to start with, please.
And there is a good chance that we can get this pregnancy further on.
Once Upon a Time in Iraq is a retelling of the Iraq War by the ordinary people who lived through the conflict.
احتلالي ذل يعني ذل كل فرد عراقي بيناتنا بس هو كان شعور مرعب يعني الكل شاف هاي المعاناة كان خوف بكل شيء حتى انه انت تخاف تحلم
الحقيقة لو كان عندي سلاح وكان عندي قدرة أذبحهم كلهم.
The judges were unanimous in choosing this devastatingly powerful series as the winner. It is a masterclass in casting, with remarkable characters drawn from all sides of the events, whose stories intersect in surprising and compelling ways. It's immersive, with a great story arc to each episode, provide insight into both geopolitical and deeply personal stories. The Grierson for the Netflix Best Documentary Series goes to Once Upon a Time in Iraq. Please welcome back on stage series director Jens Blumel and the production team.
Second award of the evening, please keep your applause and appreciation going for Once Upon a Time in Iraq.
Great, thank you. This time I'd like to also thank the BBC and Keir Films and the fantastic team that made this. Without their dedication, hard work, and their real care to tell these stories properly, this film we wouldn't be here. So thank you very much.
Well done, everyone. That wraps up the 49th Grierson Awards. We hope to see you here next year for the big 5-0. Congratulations to all tonight's nominees, recipients, for providing us with another fabulous body of work. Thanks to our partners, our sponsors and partners, whose vital work the Grierson Trust does and helps. If you could all just leave while I continue this, that is exactly how I pictured this ending. I will now just continue to talk rubbish until this entire arena is empty. The bar is calling our names, folks. Can I just thank you for being so kind to all of our nominees, to all of our winners, and to me for humouring me tonight. I'm Patrick Kielty. Thank you very much. Good night. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick Kielty.
Tonight, we've got a rather different program for you.
matter how bad the situation is, we'll always get through it.
In time to see the sun, and every shadow disbelieves me, make it mine, mine along the run, yeah. Clouds will pass and leave us under, just a warning, warning to be heard, and all the people and wonder if the